Okay, quick video for you. We're going to cover a few things real quick regarding some stuff I saw with your business cards, and then just some general, a few other things that we haven't really covered yet. All right, so with business cards, I noticed a lot of you had separate artboards for your different employees. Now, the issue that this can pull up is can lack consistency within the cards. So here, let's open up this one. So I saw a lot of this between employees. So as you can see, when you go back and forth there's a slight shift in the cards. Now, this may not be apparent to the actual employees, but side by side, these cards would look different with the layering different. So you want to really avoid that and have consistency. Plus, with a different artboard for every different employee, you run into, if they keep adding employees, then you run into a lot of different artboards. All right, so let's say we got an email from our client wanting to add a new employee. So we need John Witherspoon. So the great thing about just adding a new layer is we can take, so this is the current manager card that we have now. Just go up here, duplicate Corey McCombs. So then we hide the original, keep it locked, and then we take this new one, double click on it. Since we have the employee's name already selected, John Witherspoon, bam, we have that there. So we unlock this layer, go in, like that, John Witherspoon, Witherspoon. All right, and then he is assistant manager. And then that should all be capsed, so we can actually adjust that within the text layer. All right, so we just press that here, boom, that's all caps. We're gonna need that for the next one too, because it looks like they used some lowercase. All right, so again, we're just copying, pasting, and then boom, we have proofs to send off to them. Now they have rounded corner cards, so I did create a layer that is essentially rounded corners. So again, it's just a layer that is grayed out to the same background color, or it was when I originally made it. It's a little different in this version. And then I cut out corners to the angle that I needed. Now, one other thing that I wanted to teach you guys is template layers. So as you can see, this has a little box here. Instead of the viewability, it actually has a little box. And what that means is it was converted to a template layer. So how you do that is just select, double click on the icon. And then here, a normal layer will look like this. If you just click template, then you see print is no longer on there. So what that means is when you save out the file, despite it being viewable with these rounded corners, you don't have to turn anything off. I can take a quick screenshot of this, send it to the client. Boom, have a pretty screenshot with their rounded corners. But when I actually save the files, it saves them without those rounded corners. So I can send it straight to print. I don't have to worry about bleed. So it hides the bleed from the client, but when the actual card is printed, the bleed's there. So as you can see, I have that, the full 1/8 inch bleed there. I just turned off the guides once the cards were designed, so that way I don't, they don't see those red lines. So again, just make it clean, make it pretty for the clients. One other thing I wanted to cover real quick that a few of you had, if say they wanted to actually change up their design, they wanted that leaf pattern along the bottom. So this is a little trick probably could have, excuse me, that could have come in handy for a few of you, so my apologies for not doing this earlier. All right, so if you need to duplicate an item along a path, so just copy it, paste it, All right, and then we're gonna align these two, so we're making sure they're on the same plane. And then from here, you can go to blend, object blend. So what that'll do is duplicate it along that path. Now you now have lots of duplicates. As you can see, they're not really selectable duplicates, they're just clones right now. So if you want to alter them, and then in blend options, you can also control kind of how the curve is. So this could help you curve around a line. And you can even change colors. You can specify how many steps, specify the distance. So feel free to play with that. This is can be a really powerful tool. And then to release it, so release actually stops the blend. Expand is what we want here. Okay, so say we don't want these that compact. We can just take a few out. Ungroup. All right, there we go. All right, so we'll just delete a few of them. Select them again. And then in our alignment tools, we can equally space them out. So you can see it spaced those out. So say I actually want a bigger gap between those. So we could have done this in either the blend option, specifying how many. This tends to be a little bit quicker, so you don't have to count all of them. All right, so that's great. We got a good little pattern there. And if we wanted to kind of create a larger pattern of those, we can just group them real quick. Copy, paste. And then say we wanted to kind of stagger that pattern. And say they wanted it across the whole card. This tends to be something that you might need to do for like a background image or something. So we'll just size it up. We could also just space them out more. Okay, so once we have this created with the balanced group, so those are, here we can actually check and make sure that those are where we want them. All right, so that's now centered there. Then we hold shift so that way it'll drag just straight down. All right, so that's great. And then, so we just group. Select both groups, group that, copy, paste. Since we have that, we can now copy, paste. All right. And then we do have those odd gaps. They're all spaced, so let's ungroup all of them. And go ahead and align them. There we go. So now everything's patterns. So another little trick that can come in handy, and I think that's all we had today. All right.